lot of waxes because it was available. Beeswax was all over the place. So beeswax would have, wax finish would have been used a lot of the time. Not necessarily the most protective, but certainly easily available. A lot of oils were used, like linseed oil from the flaxseed that was grown in the colonies. And so that's something they would have had available to them, and they would have used quite a bit. Um, there are raw linseed oils, which are really unprocessed and very slow drying. You may have heard of refined linseed oil, and that has been purified. It dries faster, and it has a little less yellow color to it. Stand oil, which is also linseed oil, is a thicker polymerized form of linseed oil made by heating and smoothing it out, and it's less prone to yellowing. So those are generally the three forms of an oil, primarily linseed oil, that you would run across in a colonial finish. Waxes, oils, gilding, gold leaf products, whether it's copper leaf or gold leaf, would also be over a surface. And so you would have the opportunity to put that is a finish, it is a top coat on the wood that would give a particular aspect to it, which is quite different than what we typically do. And then the fourth one would be varnishes. And varnish is a very generic terminology. If you read a lot of the colonial literature, the old books, the old recipes, they talk about varnishes, but they're rather different than our modern day memory thinks of as a varnish. There were spirit varnishes, which were made with natural resins, which we're about to talk about in just a minute. These natural resins were dissolved in alcohol, such as shellac. So that would have been a spirit varnish. So spirit varnishes were really shellac. Oil varnishes were made with resins and linseed oil, and together made a very tough finish, but required a longer drying time. And natural resins typically used were copals, ambers, mastic, sandarac, shellac. And these are all products that we're going to talk about now, but they were quite available in the colonial world. Um, there's so much more to go into on varnishes, and I don't want to spend a lot of time on that. At the end, I did send to Dave 3 different recipes just to give you an idea of old recipes. I have read a lot of old books on finishing techniques, recipe books. And they're all very helpful. They're very difficult to discern. Their language is very different than ours. And terms that they would use, just like spirit varnish, we would just call shellac today. You have to be able to decipher and understand how they approached it and how they wrote about it.